So welcome to my channel, The Jellyfish Journals. My name is Susie, and I am about to start getting ready to plan out all of the reading journal spreads I plan to use in the month of June. So, as always, I thought I'd start out by showing you what I am hoping to use in these spreads. So, first of all, the ephemera that I'm going to use this month is a little different than anything I've done before. I found these tropical frames on Etsy, and I thought just to mix it up and make things a little bit different, I am going to go with a tropical theme for June, but I thought instead of having all these little pieces that I cut out, I might use these on each page to kind of highlight what's going on each page in some way or another. So I'll show you the ones that I decided to print. I think there's 12 different frames. I'm not sure if I printed them all or not. I did have to resize it a little bit to get it to print right. It could have just been the computer and printer system I was using at the time, but it was chopping it into a box, and it took a little fiddling to get it the way I wanted to. But I think that was user error, not creator error. So these all came from Bara Cal NK. I have no idea how to say that, but I will link it down in the description box below. And they're just different frames with boxes. So, and all of them are like different shapes. And so this one's got a little hibiscus with a banner. This one's a box with that gold edging in it. Ooh, that just gave me an idea actually. This one's more like a shield with a hibiscus. Then we've got this larger one, which is really pretty. With the box. And so, yeah, so some of these, I'm pretty sure that's the same one. No, it's actually different. Wait, maybe? No, it is the same one. So they're the same. I just made some of them larger and some of them smaller because I wasn't quite sure what I wanted to do with them. So here we have just a regular rectangle. These, okay, so some of them are a little more colorful, and I don't know if I want to lean more towards green or the colors, or maybe a combination of both. I just haven't quite decided yet. There's a smaller shield. There's another shield with the more colorful leaves all around it. This one is a, don't tell me, it's an octagon. Wait, hold on. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yes, an octagon. So with the hibiscus. And then a circle with the more colorful leaves. Another rectangle with just the green leaves, and then this hexagon, which is more like, you know, could go vertical or horizontal. So that's the first thing I'm planning to do. And yes, I do plan to fussy cut all of these, so that should be fun. But along with these, and let me put one of these on the top just because it's a little fuller and prettier and kind of might help you see how everything comes together. Then I have these pages too, and I looked all through my Etsy purchases. I honestly don't know where I got these from. So if these look familiar to you, please let me know, and maybe you can help me figure out. So they're not from the same Etsy seller, but they're just these palm leaf prints. And I'm probably going to use it for my torn paper. I haven't quite decided that yet either, but I'll either cut the leaves out as accents or use the torn paper, but they're really pretty. I could not figure out where they came from. Then I think when I bought these, I also purchased these as well. And again, I don't know where this came from. A lot of this stuff I got really excited and printed back in December, so I can keep scrolling through, but it's not in my Etsy purchases. But you can see for both of these, I printed a horizontal and vertical. That way I have some options, however I want to use it. I did cut out a flamingo here. That way I could put it in my plans as far as what themes I was planning to use all year. Then I've got some washi tapes that I'm not too sure about yet. I've got this flamingo washi tape, and so you'll see it has that light pink, kind of like that paper. It's got aqua, or yeah, I would say aqua, or turquoise flamingos, and then it's got those brighter pink flamingos. And this is where things start to get a little interesting for me because, well, I'll show you in a minute. I have this washi tape also, which is pretty old, so I'm hoping it behaves itself, but it's like a kind of vibrant green, but not really palm leaves, but it's got leafy thingies on it, so that kind of gives a little texture. And then I have this, which in a minute you'll see. I think this will work. It's really, it looks kind of yellowy, I guess, but it's really like a really bright kind of chartreusey color with some purple dots, like a orchid color purple dots. So I'm thinking these might add some fun to everything. I found these, I feel like this was Michael's, I'm not sure, but I found these stickers which go really well with the paper. And so because my ephemera isn't so many icons or little pieces to decorate with, I'm planning to use these as my main focus and these as little accent pieces. So I've got these stickers here, and that's the only sheet I have, so hopefully that's enough. I have this sticker book, which I did pull out when I did the forest theme because I was thinking I might use some of the frames here because these are kind of foresty with the ferns. But if you look on the first pages, there's a lot of palm fronds on here. So I might pull in some of these palm fronds in there. I have these flamingo stickers that a friend gave me, but I think everything else looks kind of realistic. And these look kind of cartoony and cutesy. So I'm thinking these are not going to happen, even though they kind of go with that brighter pink in the washi tape. So I don't know. I'm pretty sure these are not going to happen. I'm just going to kind of hide them way over here. The stickers I'm very excited about are these here. And I got these at Michael's. This is part of their Recollection series. And I've been having trouble finding these online. Not this in particular, but any of these series. I will link it down if I can find it, but they are still in the store. I was just there. They still have them. I don't know why I can't find things like this online. But you're going to see already, the whole book is tropical stickers. And some of them are glittery. Some of them are not. So you'll see here, like these are just regular stickers. There's some butterflies. There's some like kind of funny things like this that says tropical dreams. I might use that. I might not. I don't know. There's hummingbirds. I am in love with this macaw. It is probably going to make an appearance. But look at all these beautiful hibiscus. I know that's a little reflecty there, but they're all glittery. And I haven't done anything like that in my reading journal, so I thought I could really make it fun. Probably won't use anything that small or that. There's a toucan. I love that toucan, so that's probably going to be in there. I don't know. These read more pond than jungle, so probably not those, but more hibiscus. There's a bird of paradise, and these here, which I have no idea what they are. I feel like I used to know, but I don't know anymore. These are all over Hawaii, and so I think they'll work. I am not sure about these or not yet. It depends on what kind of vibe I go with. Probably not use those, but these are really cool. But yeah, there's just a lot of really, yeah, these won't happen. But there's just a lot of really fun, vibrant, bright stickers in there. And a lot of them incorporate multiple colors. So like this toucan here has that kind of lighter pink that are in the flamingos. And so, but then like this one has that brighter pink, which kind of connects to that pink in the washi tape. So this is my plan of attack. I'll probably use some Tombow markers. I haven't pulled those out yet. Oh yeah. And I also, the 3 dictionary words I've chosen for this month, although I will say if you read them too carefully, they don't quite fit. But in truth, I don't really read them. I just like them in there. So this one is palm, but it talks about the broad, flat lobe of a branched structure, like the antler of a moose or deer, which I've never heard of, or a cactus stalk, or the blade of an oar. But it doesn't mention anything about a palm frond, which is kind of weird, but there's a lot of palms in here, so I'm going to make it work. Then there is flower, which again, this one's kind of funny. A plant stem with 1 or more flowers that has been picked from the plant on which it grew, a small plant grown for its attractiveness of its flowers. As a teacher, this would not be an acceptable definition of a flower, but in any case, it's going in. And then this one here is jungle, and this one is absolutely perfect. I am definitely going for that tropical jungle vibe, and so that's going to be in there as well. I might also pull in some solid washi, so I purchased this on Amazon. I'll link that down below too. You can see I've used some of it. I think I have one set to the side. This one I haven't even opened yet. but it's got a lot of these tropical colors. So as I'm working, if I decide I want a little yellow or a pop of this brighter green or maybe some pink to kind of combine that flamingo tape, then I'm going to go for it. So this is just here to kind of help keep things cohesive and connected. So in any case, I think that's mostly it. Let me move that up a little. Apparently I'm working a little further away than I thought. But this is kind of the vibe I'm going through for June. So stick around and let's see what I do with it. All right, peeps, getting this party started with chapter 6. I cannot believe, actually, I can believe it's already almost June. I don't know why people always say they can't believe it. Time passes, time goes on. I can believe it's June. I think it's just crazy to think I've already done 6 of these now by the time this video is over. So I did decide that I was going to cut out the palm fronds out of that paper. And the paper, in case you missed it, was a part of the kit that had all the jungle frames in it. So I did cut out the separate leaves. There were some other palm frondy leaves with holes in them. I cannot think of what they're called. And instead of using the flamingo paper as like a torn paper, I cut out a vertical stack of flamingos and just trimmed pretty close to them so they'd kind of work as, I don't know, a banner is not really the right word, but kind of go down the side there, as you can see. I added some more of those palm fronds and that tropical look in the bottom right corner and pulling in the first of those stickers for, oh, that's my mom. She just got her Archer and Olive box, so she's very excited. And you're going to see me be a little bit picky about that flamingo. I don't know why I struggled to put these flamingo stickers down, but whenever I did, they always seem to be leaning a little to the left or right, and kind of makes me wonder if that's a problem flamingos just have in general, where they're always kind of wobbly and tipping over, but I don't know. I did decide I was going to go ahead and use those word stickers that I mentioned a minute ago in the video that I wasn't sure I was going to use. And it turned out that I just thought they would make really good tabs for each of the pages in this reading journal. So there are a few words, and I did play with them in advance, so I'm not just magically picking the perfect ones. I did play with all of this in my test journal, and I thought they just kind of worked and added to that whole tropical jungle vibe, which is what I am going for. On that note, I am also going to give you a heads up. I get a little sticker crazy in these spreads. So, pardon me, you might not see it right away, but just rest assured, a little bit near the end of the video, you are going to see that your girl here gets a little sticker happy. I think journaling should be fun, and if in the moment you are just feeling like sticking down every single sticker that is pretty that you want to, then I say do it. I had so much fun making this. I do wish I had put the toucan there. You'll see he makes an appearance later. In retrospect, I do wish he kind of hung out here up in the top corner, but he, alas, decided to land on a different page. But I guess the point is, have fun. If you own the stickers, you bought the stickers, they're meant to be used. And sometimes that means a more simplistic spread where you're using those stickers tactfully and tastefully. And sometimes it means slapping them down any which way you want to. And if you can't do that in a tropical jungle themed spread, then I don't know when you can. So just keep in mind as you're watching this video that the goal was thick tropical jungle. And so you'll see at some point you might be thinking, Susie, that's enough. You need to back off the stickers. But I'm not going to lie, after last month's really simplistic Asian/Chinese layouts, I just love how crazy this got. And I love that every time I turn the page, it does feel like a really dense, thick tropical jungle. I am starting to run out of ideas on how to make my Up Next book stack look a little different. And so this time I decided that somehow these palm fronds are able to hold up a stack of 5 books in the jungle. I don't know. It was just something a little different to try and definitely gives it a little bit of a different look. And you'll see how I am starting to use these frames. So I did fussy cut around the edge of most of them, but what I did was I trimmed like around some of the more delicate fronds because thankfully, since the notebook paper is white, you really, once it's stuck down, you really can't tell. And that way I didn't have to worry about accidentally tearing some of those more delicate fronds. Pardon me. So I put one of those larger leaves in the middle there. Elephant ear, maybe? Is that what those are? I don't know. Somebody can tell me down below. And there is the macaw. I thought one way to make this book stack look a little different than previous book stacks in prior months was to have him sitting or perched on the edge of my Up Next stack. And so the idea of this spread is these are just 5 books that I am planning to read in June. It's just a way for me to keep moving forward on my TBR. I tried to pick books that have been on my TBR the longest, or perhaps something somebody just read or has talked to me about recently. And all that's just to, like I said, keep things moving along. So now I am adding some floral stickers that are right out of that Recollections book. These are all glittery. You won't see the glitter too well, unfortunately. You might every so often, but that macaw looks all washed out up there because he is just so glittery that it's making it a little bit difficult to see him because he is catching all the light right now. But since I decided to put the dictionary word flower on this page, I thought there should be a lot of flowers here if that's the plan, is to put the definition flower on here, then this page should be covered in flowers. I do realize that my dictionary word is a little crooked there. I seemed to be straighteningly challenged. I don't know. I had trouble keeping things straight in these spreads for some reason. So I do go back and fix that later. These are the 5 books that I am planning to read in the month of June. So the one on the top here is The Measure. This is one I've had for a little while, but my mom just read it and I would like to be able to talk with her about it. So I'm going to read that. All the Colors of the Dark. I've heard lots of good things about that one. Also, The Grace Year is another one I've heard a lot about. The Dictionary of Lost Words is my reading challenge book for the month. I need to read a book that's about books. And so I thought that would be a good fit for that. And it's been on my TBR for a while. And the last book is one that my husband got for my birthday last year. And it's called World of Wonders. And it's like a collection of short stories or poems and things about things in nature. I think I've got this right. And so it's just kind of like a nod to the importance of all the creatures in the world. And so it just kind of I don't know if I'd say a light read, but probably on the lighter side of things. And I'm actually hoping to take it with me soon on a flight that I'm taking and kind of have something a little different to read on the plane. So now I'm working on my reading challenge spread, and in that box in the middle, you're going to see the that blue box is for the cover photo, and down at the bottom on those pink lines is just where I write a few thoughts that I had about the book challenge book for the month. So yeah, now all that's really left on this page is to do some decorating. So again, everything I'm putting in here sticker wise is glittered. So that vine is all glittery, and I thought it would look really pretty running down the side of the page. You might also have noticed on the cover page where it said June, I used some other washi tape that I didn't mention in the beginning of the video. I bought it's like a little pack of washi tape from, I think it was Michael's. And in that pack, there was some that said, it said Wild at Heart, Bloom, and I think Seek Joy. And I had only just purchased it like a couple days ago. So when I sat down to work on this, I like to clean up my table before I start working on any spreads because, as you may have noticed, my table gets quite chaotic and messy as I work. So I like to start fresh. And I happen to see that, and it's like the perfect kind of tropical forest green color. And so it was a happy accident that I happened to have some of that washi. Trimming up some things, you'll see that toucan made it up there in that corner. And I think I'm going to add one more palm frond right there on the right just to fill in some of that white space. Yep, there it is. And the tab for this page is Tropical Vibes. Now I'm going to go ahead and add the tab for the next page, and that one's going to say Exotic. And you'll see I just tried to change up the colors so the tabs look a little different on each page. Now this is where I'm getting a little ambitious. So this is my new books spread where I write down the titles of the new books that I purchase or acquire in that month. And you're going to see again that I put down that square in the middle very crooked, which still drives me nuts, but I was not going to try to rip it up. I don't quite know my plan for how I am going to record new books in that box. I think my current thought is that I will use some of those icon stickers that were in that Recollections book. They're on the smaller side, and I think I might use them in that box and just try to write the titles in that box. But I just knew it was something different. I haven't done a new books page like this yet. So that's the plan there. And now you're going to see where I went for something and made a mistake. So this is supposed to be top reads, and you'll see that word reads is just leaning a little bit far to the left. And I just didn't like it. So I printed another frame. And then what I did is in my trial journal, I drew a couple of lines on the dot grid and used those as kind of straight lines. And you'll see the word reads is still a little crooked. It's kind of diagonally going up. Like I said, I was really challenged with making straight lines this time. And this is my first try stamping. This came with the newest Archer and Olive release, Night Blooms. This little star was in their kit. And you can see on that little paper, I had to practice a lot. I would have royally messed this up if I had just gone for it. And I was texting my mom this morning, and she gave me some other tips for stamping because I'm kind of new to it. In the end, I did decide to go back with a micron and color in those stars. And then I just covered them with a little bit of that sticky note paper right there, that bright pink, just so that if that ink needed to dry or wasn't quite finished, it would not imprint on the other page beside it. Now this page I was very excited about. This is going to be my stats page for June. So all of the reading stats I have in June are going to be on here. And I just printed up a bunch of different frames in different sizes. And this is where I'm going to document those things. So every month I document pages read, books read, new books acquired, how many books I did not finish or DNF, and then how many books were audio, digital, or print. And so I just left a space in each of those frames to write those numbers once I have that data at the end of the month. And I do decide I'm going to use some more of those flamingo stickers. I think I used the rest of them on this page. I liked all these little white spaces that I inadvertently created on the sides. And I just like these flamingos like living in their best life in this like little tropical thing here going on. And I did struggle a little bit with where to fit them all and how to make them work. And I feel bad for this poor little guy who's standing straight up because he kind of gets demoted to the very bottom because look how perfectly his little head and body fit there. So he lost his legs, but he'll be okay. He's still a happy guy. I kind of paused there. I know I want to add more stickers to it, but I really wanted to wait and see where I'm at the end of everything. So kind of similar to the front cover of this spread, I just glued down a whole bunch of palm fronds down the side and some flamingos down the right side. And this is just where I'm going to write down, or I'll glue the covers of all the books that I read in June. So I need that big empty space for that. And adding a little bit more of that green washi tape with the purple polka dots. This is actually one of my least favorite washis in my collection, but it ended up being so good for this. It just adds a little bit of fun, and I really like that bright green element in there, so everything doesn't end up being too dark and gloomy. And now you're gonna watch a girl go a little sticker crazy. So pretty much from now till the end of this video is just me pulling stickers and putting them down and really just kind of going crazy. But like I said, I had the time of my life. I just had so much fun. Again, if you can't slap glitter flower stickers down in a tropical jungle theme, then I don't know when you could use all these stickers. So I had a really good time. I did end up covering some of the flamingos running down the right side of the page. No regrets there. They were there, and then they weren't. And they're still there. There's still a few of them hanging out there, except the one that doesn't have a head on the top right. He's probably not feeling so good today. Some of them had a little bit of a white edge to them, and so, I didn't even remember putting those up there. And so some of them I trimmed off a little bit. I did use a butterfly in one of the other spreads. I hadn't planned to, but then when I thought about it, I really liked how they looked. And it was kind of weird. The butterflies were glittery and the flowers were glittery, but these leaves behind them were not. And like I said, my goal was to make those extra elements really kind of stand out. And so I really did my best to stick to only what was glittery. So anytime you see me chopping a sticker, I'm probably cutting off something that's not got glitter on it. It's probably cracking up my best friend. She is a very glittery person. I am not a very glittery person, but again, I just love the idea of this jungle just being colorful and magical and all those other things that, sometimes I think if we think of a tropical jungle, we think of bugs and snakes and humidity and all that. And so I just kind of love this idea of focusing on the beauty that would be in a jungle like this. So flipping around a lot, decided I wanted to add some glittery leaves in here too. That'll kind of connect to what I did on the cover page where it says June, where I added some of those stickers to the little leafy frame on that page as well. And it's kind of funny, like watching this back while I do this voiceover, because, all the glittery ones obviously are really shiny and reflective. And so it seems kind of strange looking at it like this, but I guess just trust me when I tell you that when I flip the pages, it just makes me smile. I just kind of love the chaos. There's still a lot of white around the flamingos. Not quite sure how I feel about that or not yet. Haven't totally decided, but I do love the chaos here. Maybe I'm just missing my students. I don't know. Teachers, does that ever happen to you? I know I have a few teachers that subscribe to my channel and watch my videos, and does everything just get super quiet, super fast, and like your brain has no time to adjust to that change? Maybe it's just me. Anyway, added all that color to those spreads and kind of flipping back through just to see what else I might need to do. These pages ended up being still pretty empty, at least relative to all the other pages. So I'm trimming down the dictionary word palm because I sort of forgot to include it anywhere in the spreads. And again, I'm being a little picky, but all of my other monthly spreads have 3 dictionary words. I did not want this to be the one that does not. So adding a little bit more of that washi tape up there at the top. This time it says seek joy. So I've used all of the phrases that were in that washi tape. And now I'm just adding some of these more graphic hibiscus flowers around, so they're not as realistic looking as some of the other things or the other florals, but I don't know, just thought let's add some color in there. The blue Tombow marker that I used for those frames on the top reads page was a little bit brighter than I intended it to be. And so anywhere that I could incorporate some blue stickers or a little bit of blue in anything, I decided to go for it. So that's why that Island Life sticker made it down at the bottom there too. It had some of that blue that would tie in a little bit better. I kind of messed up at the top there, so I was trying to erase that and fix it. And going back to the cover, I decided, you know what, if every other page got some glitter flower love, then this one should as well. And so again, here I go with the stickers, having fun, just sticking them all down. Funny enough, as much as I'm using, this book came with so many stickers, I still have a bunch. So I will probably be doing a tropical spread in my everyday journal, just because I can. And like I said, I'm not normally a glitter person, but boy, these stickers are really doing it for me, I guess. So anyway, live your best life, people. Use the stickers. Don't be scared. I think flipping through, though, we are coming to a good place. I think that's about it. Just cleaning up some little scrappy pieces here and there, and that'll do it. And here we are with the, I hope, final spreads if I stop adding stickers to them. We've got the June cover page here, the tropical tabs running down the sides. These are the 5 books that I am hoping to read in June. And right here will be my book for my reading challenge, which is to read a book about books. Then we've got a spot here for new books, which I'm pretty sure already it's not enough. I don't love this page. I'm not sure I am done adding to it. And it's crooked, which is still driving me crazy, but I think I'll just use little icon stickers and fill it in there. So I might wait till the very end before I add anything to that. These will be my top reads in June. And this is my stats page. Also not sure that I'm loving this or that it's quite finished yet. There's still a lot of white space over here and here, but we're going to pause. We're going to try to breathe and pause and stop adding stickers. And then back here, this is where I will put all the covers of the books that I read in the month of June. And so I love how the backs of the tabs are all kind of tropical. Well, not kind of, they are tropical. And when this is closed, you still get that tropical vibe down there. So thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Bye.